The Fire Spirit's origin story. In previous videos, we've gone over the origin story of the Heal Spirit, the Fire Spirit, and the Electro Spirit. So now, last but not least, the Ice Spirit's origin story is finally here. Each spirit had a completely different and unique story, and the Ice Spirit's story is no exception. So if you haven't already seen those other story videos, I strongly recommend you check those out after you watch this video. They will be linked down in the description below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into how the Ice Spirit was brought into the world of Clash. So not long after the Fire Spirit popped out of the wizard when he was being attacked, the king and every other troop was loving the new Fire Spirits in the arena. They were so powerful and selfless and would always sacrifice themselves to protect their other teammates. And so after a few days with the Fire Spirits, the king wondered if he'd be able to replicate the Fire Spirit process with the other kinds of wizards. And so he sought out the Ice Wizard and the Electro Wizard. He also got the Fire Wizard and asked him to recreate what happened to him. So the wizard explained to his brothers that when he was in great danger and was completely out of energy, that was when the Fire Spirit inside of him popped out. And from there, it started to catch other things on fire and duplicate itself. So he said, let's try to recreate that. The wizard then called out the goblins and the skeleton army, who then swarmed the Electro Wizard and Ice Wizard. The army started to attack the Ice Wizard and E-Wiz, and so the wizards were forced to fight back. The two wizards were still processing what the wizard even just said, but they couldn't think about it too much as they had their hands very full with the onslaught of skeletons and goblins. So after firing off hundreds of ice shards and bolts of lightning, the two wizards were exhausted, and when their bodies finally gave out, they fell to the ground out of exhaustion. But this time, no Ice Spirit or Electro Spirit appeared. The Fire Wizard was confused because he did everything exactly like he did before. And so after nothing happened, he just told the goblins and the skeletons to leave, and he waited for the Ice Wizard and E-Wiz to wake back up. He then told them what happened and how it didn't work. The Fire Wizard and the Clash Royale King were quite upset, and they decided to just give up on their idea and realized that maybe Fire Spirits were the only one that was going to happen, and maybe it was just a one-time thing. So a few days later, the Ice Wizard was battling in the Frozen Peak arena, when after the battle he started to walk back down the mountain. The Ice Wizard just had a super tough battle, and he wanted to blow off a little steam. And so on his way down, he started to fire his ice spell at random objects. He got so carried away that he started to freeze other troops and everything too. I think it was safe to say that some of the other troops were not huge fans of this. But nonetheless, the Ice Wizard was having the time of his life as he was dancing around and firing off his ice spell left and right. He ended up hitting a few Fire Spirits as well, but when it hit the Fire Spirits, instead of freezing them in place, it ended up extinguishing their flame. The fire used to be what kept the spirits alive, and so instead of freezing over, the Fire Spirits just turned into a black rock. It was now lifeless. So after the Ice Wizard realized what he had done, he ran over to what used to be the Fire Spirit and kneeled down next to it. He picked it up and cried out for the Fire Wizard, but then he realized that he just froze him completely, and so it was up to the Ice Wizard to bring him back. So the Ice Wizard focused extremely hard and tried as hard as he could to transfer some of his powers to the Fire Spirit. It ended up working, and you could see the spirits slowly start to glow, white and blue. When the Ice Wizard opened his eyes, he saw a white and blue spirit that was no longer the Fire Spirit. The Ice Wizard transferred his powers, and so the spirit was now fueled by ice, making it the Ice Spirit. And so right after the wizard opened his eyes, the new Ice Spirit wanted to return to its source, and so it chased down the wizard and jumped onto him. The spirit ended up freezing the Ice Wizard in place for a few seconds. And so after the Ice Wizard thawed himself out, he returned to the Clash Royale castle to show the king what had just happened. The Ice Wizard had created the first ever Ice Spirit. Anyways, that there is the story of how the Ice Wizard turned the Fire Spirit into the Ice Spirit, or aka the Ice Spirit's origin story. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that, and like I did say, I have just finished all of the spirit stories inside of Clash Royale and how they're linked to each of the wizards. If you guys want to go ahead and check out some of those other story videos that you haven't already seen, such as the Heal Spirit story, the Electro Spirit story, or what's the last one? Or the Fire Spirit story, you guys can go ahead and check that out. I'll have it linked by clicking the I in the top right, or you can click the description or the link in the description below. All the stories are completely different, and it's not just like, oh, the healer turned it into a Heal Spirit or anything like that. They are all different and unique, so I strongly recommend you guys check that out if you haven't already. And let me know which one was your favorite if you've already seen them all. Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. I want to start doing more series like this where I combine a bunch of the related troops, or maybe some of the ones that are similar, so maybe like the Goblin Gang, the difference between the Spear Goblins and then the like Stab Goblins. I want to start doing more stories like that. And now that I do have a video editor as well, I'm going to be able to start pushing out more and more story videos. So definitely leave a comment down below as to which story you guys would like to see next. And this time I absolutely promise I will be posting more frequently. But don't take my word for it. Subscribe and find out for yourself. You'll notice that I'll be posting at least once a week now, possibly even more. So keep your eyes out for that. And lastly, as Christmas is approaching and some of my university classes are kind of finishing up, so once I'm done with my finals, I'm going to be pushing out tons and tons of videos. I've got a lot of really cool video ideas coming up. One of them is obviously going to be that yearly video that I do where I'm comparing the old Clash of Clans or Clash Royale to the new Clash of Clans or Clash Royale. So that's going to be coming out as soon as it gets closer to 2021. It's really crazy that almost a full year has already passed. This whole COVID year has gone by so quickly. But you know, we made it through, and so I'll be but yeah, kind of unrelated, but I'll be coming out with some new videos to kind of celebrate the end of the year, at least for Clash Royale or Clash of Clans. COVID doesn't really affect anything in game, and so it was still a decent year for those, despite how bad COVID really is. But anyways, that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for this video. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys all in the next video. Peace out.